Thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks to Sherry D and the Spoken Word Society for having this wonderful festival. I've got a lot to read today, so might as well just get started. I will be reading from my book, Lessons in Falling, which is poems based on my work as a teacher. But first I thought I'd start with a bit of a story that we might be a little bit more familiar with. It's a take on a fairy tale, actually. I've always enjoyed fairy tales, but there's one in particular that kind of has always bothered me. And I think it's more our modern spin on the fairy tale that bothers me. It's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And it always bothered me in the new tellings of it that she always seems to get away in the end. I think in the original version she was eaten by the bears, which, yeah, I liked that ending. But the version I always heard was, she got away. And a lot of people seem to be happy for her, but I always just wonder, what about those bears? What was their life like afterwards? So this poem is called When Things Cool Down. It's been a while since the bears have had a good bowl of porridge. Breakfast is usually cold cereal now, with berries, eaten hastily. The only sounds are the scrape of chairs against the wooden floor, the clack of spoons against milk-filled porcelain, the slurp and crunch of mouths too full of food to talk. They don't stray far from home much anymore. Their morning strolls are shorter and less frequent. Baby Bear has taken to cowering in the bushes that line the yard. Papa Bear plods down to the nearest oak and rubs his back against it, while Mama Bear paces in front of the cottage doorway, pausing frequently to sniff the air and listen. Papa Bear stopped telling his stories in the sitting room before bedtime. Now Mama and Baby just sit and watch him glower into the flickering shadows that leap from the fireplace, his eyes wide and glazed over, claws digging into the chair's armrests. He startles easily when Mama reaches a soft paw out to stroke his fur, recoils and bares his teeth before shaking off the fear. Baby Bear's chair doesn't rock as smoothly as before. Despite Mama's attempts to mend it, the rocker clacks when he leans back now, slow and rhythmic, like the light footsteps of human shoes. Baby Bear hasn't slept through the night in weeks. He keeps seeing shapes in the shadows, shapes that carve themselves into the moonlight. A pleated dress and those tight blonde curls, coiled and ready to spring. Tonight he crawls in beside Papa, since his bed is big enough, while Mama Bear stares at the ceiling and wonders how long it will take for their lives to return to normal. She caught that familiar scent in the wind this morning. The girl with the golden locks had been near again. Papa hadn't noticed, and neither had Baby. Mama didn't say anything about it to either of them. Now, lying in bed, Mama makes up her mind. She and her family are not going to live in fear any longer. Tomorrow she will get up early and make a big, fresh pot of porridge. She will make it piping hot and serve up 3 heaping portions. And while her husband and child sleep soundly upstairs and the porridge cools in the morning air, she is going to go for a walk. She is going to follow the scent of the golden-haired girl and sink her teeth into her family's fear once and for all. And when she comes back, her family will be awake, and the porridge will be cool. They will eat their breakfast calmly and engage in soothing conversation. And God damn it, everything is going to be just right. Thank you. Now, William Carlos Williams, he said once that in the schools Schools, there's a poem a minute going on in schools, and I think that's true. There's at least a poem a minute going on in schools today, and a lot of different stories going on. And in my book, I try to follow a couple of different characters a little bit throughout, but you find in schools there's just so many overlapping and interweaving stories that it's almost impossible to follow all of them. But here's a bit of one. It's about a boy who gets a birthday gift. It's called A Small Gift. On his 12th birthday, he is given a Swiss Army knife. A tradition in their family, a family raised as Boy Scouts, campers, and hunters. By this age, he's considered mature enough to use one responsibly. It is not to leave the house, except on camping trips. He holds the red plastic handle in his palm, unfolds each tool individually. A pair of scissors, a toothpick, tweezers, a can opener, a corkscrew, a smaller blade, a larger blade. He looks for things to carve. His initials mark the tree in the backyard. Pointy sticks litter the porch. His younger sister in grade 5 is jealous. He fashions a small doll for her from a piece of old hockey stick, which she loves. His parents say goodnight and tuck him in. Dad glances at the knife on the dresser. Keep it somewhere safe. Sure, Dad. The sound of the door closing and muffled conversation comforts him. He walks to his dresser, looks at his 12-year-old face in the mirror, picks up the knife, and slips it into his backpack. The next story, or the next poem, I should say, is about another character whose their paths cross eventually. But this one, I find, especially in junior high, I teach junior high, students can often be identified by the clothing they wear. Some students, they just wear the same jacket every day, whether it's summertime, wintertime, morning, afternoon, they just keep wearing it. And sometimes they have a pair of boots that seems to define them more than anything else. And this poem is called Boots. The boots are angry today. They were violated this morning by dirty, sock-shrouded feet in a hurry to get out. They were dunked into puddles, shoved between closing C-train doors, plopped on the seat and crammed into a corner. Their laces hang like strings of drool as they lumber through the parking lot, past the bike rack and slam against the locked door to have it opened and avoid the late slip. Squeaking, they stomp down the hallway, grind into the floor in front of the locker, their cracked soles creaking. In the classroom, they press against the legs of the desk in front of them and scowl. The boots are angry today. They are angry and looking for someone to punish. All right, cool. Thank you. And this is a later poem. It comes much later in the book, and it's kind of where these two characters' paths cross, almost. It's called Show and Tell. Show and Tell, sorry. The pocket knife tucked in his jacket. A friend from outside is curled up and waiting for its moment to shine, to glimmer, to show these fools what cool really is. He feels the metallic lump thud against his thigh as he steps off the bus, feels the cold weight lopsiding his jacket that slides off his shoulders, hears the muffled thunk when the unusually heavy pocket bounces off the back of his locker. The knife sticks in his mind all morning, folded away but emitting an alluring call. He fidgets all through homeroom and math class, wonders if the principal is opening his locker right now. At locker break, he reaches in past his granola bar to touch the plastic and steel and feel calm. In language arts class, he sits placidly and imagines himself the protagonist in a story yet untold. At lunch, he shows some other boys behind the dumpster. Gets mixed reactions, not what he expected. In the afternoon, he brings it with him, uses it to carve fuck into a desk. Feels pride in not getting caught. He goes to a bathroom stall to open the shimmering blade. Looks around but sees no soft surface to carve. Looks at the toilet, glistening porcelain, hard plastic, cinder block wall, metal partitions. The sharp blade shrieks along the metal. An icy chill ripples beneath his skin. He freezes when he hears the thump, thump of angry boots on the bathroom tile. Thank you. And I am going to finish this set with a poem that you might have heard before, but I've never done it with a percussionist. It's the one poem in which I try to cram everything about my job into one poem. So it's called I Don't Teach Subjects, I Teach Students. I don't teach subjects, I teach students. I don't teach students, I teach Xbox. I teach iPod and Halo and MP3. I teach rock bands and breakdancers, newbies and posers. I teach Twitter and Facebook and online bullying. I teach the narrow line between slipshod parenting and overbearing media pet strings. I teach down the aisle of a test score supermarket. I teach Justin Bieber and Hannah Montana and Saw 1 through 5. I teach the gay kid raised atheist and sent to a Catholic school, and the angry black-haired white chick with the knee-high shit kickers and a home-pierced beauty mark stud that looks infected. I teach family life and human sexuality to kids who stay up till 3 watching free clips of internet porn on their flash media players. I teach the loud and the boisterous and the timid and the angry and the giddy and the waiting for something meaningful just to tap me on the shoulder. I teach test taking and desk sitting and holding it till the bell rings. I teach bundles of insecurity and helplessness wrapped in grape-scented lip gloss with glitter. I teach giggles and taunting and text message flirting. I teach body odor and boners and pants put on backwards by accident. I teach digital smartboard PowerPoint presentations and chewing the inside of your cheek just to bite back the sobs. I teach the kid whose parents just don't know what to do anymore. I teach the kid with a 93 and the kid with a 39. I teach emails and phone calls and missing assignments. I teach mohawks and cut marks and brothers with cancer. I teach Band-Aids. I teach chewed up pencils and Red Bull and Jolt. I teach in a vacuum that sucked up everything good and pure about being human and sat it in desks right in front of me. I teach the treasures of our future and the most significant beings in existence. I teach beauty and hope and something so perfect it can't be contained. I teach life in a whirlwind that would go on without me. I teach nothing. I teach speechless at the front of a boiling sea of rage and discontent that's shrouded in a mist of indifference. I teach hate. I teach love. I teach faith. I teach the 10 Commandments and the Golden Rule. I teach fear and guilt and forgiveness. I teach control. I teach worth. I teach effort and marks and report cards. I teach subjects. Thank you.